What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy P. Skip. Welcome to the best half hour of your entire Tuesday. You know what time it is. It's time to get into his court. My squad with me, T-Mac.
Hola.
Chili Will.
Gracias, amigo.
Let's do this. You had to have been under a rock or not listening to sports or paying any attention to sports not to know about the topics we're going to be dealing with today. We're going to start off with, and we talked about it in an earlier show, in a previous show, Ime Udoka, the head coach for the Boston Celtics, was suspended for the entire 2022-2023 season for having a casual sexual relationship with a female staff member of the team. Udoka's affair was revealed to be the wife of a valued Boston Celtic consultant and had a personal ties with Danny Ainge. What we've heard two different things. What we do know is that we're not going to reveal her name. What we do know is she is the personal travel agent for the team. So wherever the Boston Celtics go, she is the one that makes sure that their flight arrangements, their transportation to and from the stadium and their hotel, she takes care of all of that. Not to mention, she also takes care of the flight for the family and friends of the players, which means she was also booking Nia Long and the kids' tickets to come and see him. Now, it's also said, another rumor said that she is also a minority owner's wife. So here you have, and we're going, at first, because we didn't know all of, the ins and outs, we were saying, that's kind of harsh for just, having consensual, because they did say it was consensual sex with someone. But now we're getting into who it was. And let's just be honest. If you're an owner of a team, whether it's partial or fully owner of a business team, whatever, and somebody that you paying is sleeping with your wife, that's a whole different level of you're fired that I don't even think he's going to come back to the Celtics after that. I'm really thinking that they're like, we're cutting all ties with you. Because for me, how do you come back after that? You're not respecting ownership. You're not respecting the rules that they said, hey, you can't do that. You signed a contract that said you can't be sleeping with folks on the team. And you disregard all of that and not just you didn't go for a cheerleader. You didn't go for a parking lot attendant. You didn't go for a secretary. You went for the minority owner's wife. Are you kidding me? Galatians 6:8 in the New Living Translation says this: those who live only to satisfy their own sinful nature will harvest decay and death from that sinful nature. But those who live to please the Spirit will harvest everlasting life from the Spirit. Luke 8:17 says this in the Amplified: for there is nothing hidden that will not become evident. For anything done in secret will be known and come out into the open. So obviously, here we have, not only were you told, the media found out from somebody inside, revealed it all. Because they could have very easily, because you didn't violate any NBA rules. That wasn't violated. So the NBA wasn't coming after you for anything. This was in-house that y'all opened up and let it become outhouse. And it was that serious that they didn't even care what the repercussions of the world knowing what he did. What do you think about this situation, Tiff?
Yeah, I think it's a very unfortunate situation on a number of fronts. On the one hand, she was married, and so the marital union was, it was breached because there was a relationship, and it doesn't.
And let me add this too, and a devout Mormon.
And a devout Mormon. So you had the religious piece. So on that particular part of it, it's really, really unfortunate. Now, we're all human, and we don't always walk in perfection, but I don't know, based on what I've heard, it doesn't seem like this was, maybe a one-time thing where, in the heat of passion, folks just made a very, very grave mistake. This was kind of a relationship that was kind of going on. It was consensual, that they did it continually. So that's number one. Number two, he wasn't married, but he was in a apparently, long-term committed relationship. So there was another breach, but it wasn't as substantial as a marriage. I mean, infidelity to one you're committed to is infidelity when you have those kind of, sexual relations. But I think it's fair to say that those that are married are in more of a serious situation than folks that are just boyfriend, girlfriend. So
I agree.
And I point that out just to say that while the onus was on, him to adhere to team policy, she was a married woman.
Exactly. And mother of three. Mother of three.
So it ain't like he the only one that was out of order here. And given the fact that, it was a violation of team policy, I would, look at that a bit too, because if that is the team policy, but the culture has been that's not really enforced, I don't think they really have a leg to stand on there either. And what I mean by that is that if you have a culture is a set of accepted behavioral norms that everybody inside of a society has grown accustomed to abiding by. That, I'm not an attorney, but in court of law, that almost is like a precedent. So if we haven't really been looking at team rules and organizational policy for violations over the past 5, 10, 15, 20 years, that ain't I didn't violate nothing. Everybody been doing willy-nilly, breaking the rules of the organizational culture, because that's an organizational policy, because that's what the culture is. So to me, I still think that the penalty for him was really, really harsh. Now, human nature, rules and regulations be darned. Human nature is human nature. So anybody, whether he is the minority owner or, a spouse of somebody, anytime you hear about your spouse being involved with somebody, you're going to be ticked off. I get that. And if you are in a position of influence, that can amplify your ticked offness and bring repercussions to those that were participatory in that which ticked you off, which is the case here. But I'm thinking that if you are so ticked off, just fire him flat out. Don't hold him hostage like that. You suspend him, cut his pay in half, from what I've heard, allegedly, and he can't go anywhere. Let him, be fired. That's the consequence I had. I made the bed. I'll sleep in it. No pun intended.
Right.
And he can go and he can go ahead and recover at his own pace. If another ball club wants to take, a chance on him and bring him into the mix, cool. If not, if they feel that what he did was so egregious, we're not going to touch it with 10-foot pole. Hey, bro, those are the consequences that you have to face. So I still think that they mishandled this, one, with the publicity of surrounding it, as well as the penalty for him, and she's getting off relatively unscathed. I'm not buying that deal about, well, he was a person that's in authority over her. Her husband was the minority owner. Shut up. That nullifies any authority he had. And if she didn't work directly up under him, I'm questioning that.
I think that's the problem. She's doing too much work up under him.
Right. She had a little bit too much understanding.
Right.
So all of that is kind of muddled for me. Like I'm saying, I'm not condoning any
Right.
infidelity or anything like that. I'm just saying that if we gonna be blaming folks and people are gonna get penalized, it take two to tango. So both them jokers ought to also be penalized and catch some fade as a result of this. And that's where I think they've been, really overly severe in the punishment of him and not her. And it's to your point of, is this irreconcilable? Can he come back from this? I don't know if he'd be willing to take on the humiliation now of being in Boston. I mean, they put him out there bad. Home team, you already on the road, you're gonna face, some haterades, some hecklers, etc. You ain't trying to face that at the crib, too. I mean, it's unfortunate because in his first year, he took the team to the finals. And in my opinion, they should have won. Didn't take care of the ball late in a couple of games and just kind of gave the championship away to Golden State. But
Right.
it was a storybook ending, man, that seems to have ended in a nightmare, unfortunately.
I have a couple thoughts concerning that. One is, yeah, it might be severe. But the other piece is, if it had not been the minority owner, they would have probably just got rid of her.
Got rid of her or him?
Her. They would have
Okay.
probably just got rid of her. They would, and this would have been a non-issue. But because of her status and because of who she is, and because how reprobate is your mind that out of all the women in the organization, you go after a minority owner's wife. That is a level of cojones that makes you go, bruh, you don't respect, because it was already written that this was, you can't do it. And then you go to the highest level of doing it. And not just, it was a mess up. It happened once. We vowed it'll never happen again. You was in a relationship with a woman who was married. And to that, I go, and if they let you back, it's almost like giving the middle finger to that minority owner. If you sit back on that sideline after that, that's like giving them that owner like, hey, so what? You took half my money, but I'm back here and I still got access to her because she ain't quitting.
Yeah, I mean it's super messy, and I still think in that point that you made, it's an excellent point that it takes either titanium stones,
right,
to go after not only a married woman but one who is the wife of the minority owner,
right,
or extreme stupidity to do it. In either case, it's extreme on whatever side of the coin it is. But I also think, though, that in this particular case, because it was a guy going after a woman, but it could be even a woman going after a man, when you are the married person, you have a line of defense that if you are getting Evan, he didn't rape her. It was a consensual. So she gave that dog some coochie. Here, take some of this. So just because somebody coming at you and flirting and bringing you flowers and trying to give you game, and Joker, I'm married. I'm off the market. I can't go there.
Right.
You can't get none of this. And if it was a guy who's being approached by a woman who's, coming with the womanly charm, whatever. He wasn't married. She was. So he's out of order for going after it. He ain't no more out of order for going after it than she is as a married joker that gave in. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying he ain't out of order. I'm just saying he has some company in his out of orderness, and that was her. So if he gonna be
completely agree with you.
Scoot a little chair over for her, sit down with him. You out of order too, ma'am. Both of y'all. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you more because you're married. He ain't. So that's my only issue with it. with
Yeah.
regards to putting out of blame and severity of punishment. He was a guy that ain't even married. He a dude that's putting his bid in. He being reckless. Okay, lady, you married. You can't be as reckless as he's trying to be because you got more to lose than him. You got a whole family and a whole husband. He ain't got no whole wife. He got a little kid and stuff like that. He still be responsible, but y'all ain't equal in terms of off limitness.
Right. Because remember, even though you may have been helping him, the bottom line is he still worked for you.
He,
You know, so
that's my. I mean,
that's that forbidden fruit that's always being reached for.
Right. I mean, hey, exactly. And if we're taking the proverbial high road, how much higher of a road do you get than marriage?
I'm with you. I'm with you. You know, and the Bible talks about the wrath of a man who somebody messed with his wife. You know, so but let's keep this moving, man. Here's another topic that, you know, if you watch sports, then you have to know about this. The Warriors camp has some inter squad corruption.
Wow.
So Draymond Green, what, the 4-time champion?
Yes, sir.
4-time champion Draymond Green got into an altercation and punched hard in the face Milwaukee's own Jordan Poole. And this situation was in practice. And the videotape of it was leaked to TMZ. The Bible talks about in Genesis 4:9, then the Lord said to Cain, "Where is Abel, your brother?" And he said, "I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?" There's a couple situations here. At first, they said that Jordan Poole was flaunting the fact that he's about to get a new contract and Draymond wants one, and they've been avoiding it. That was one scenario. Another scenario came out, which Draymond came out and said, I was having some off-court issues that I brought to the gym and unleashed on Jordan Poole. And he says, and this is he says, I apologize to the Warriors organization, to Draymond Green and his parents.
Jordan Poole
and his parents. Because if my mother and father would have saw that, they would be really upset. You think? You think? Jordan Poole could do some really devastating stuff in the midst of all this. Because he could very easily say, you know what? I'm going to file a restraining order on you. That means you can't come within 100 feet of me. You can't come to no games. You can't come to no practices. Because if you do, every time you do, you can be arrested. So the question becomes for me, though, and you can see the video, it's all over. You can see the punch, how he walked up to Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole pushed him off of him, and Draymond just Hail Married on him, threw a haymaker, and knocked him down when he hit him. The question becomes, who leaked it? Again, who leaked the video? Because it was somebody from that staff that leaked that video. Somebody wants Draymond either saw in a bad light or they felt like, dude don't need to get away with this. And if this video doesn't go viral, it's going to be swept under the rug. So somebody leaked it for some reason. What do you think? Do you think it's just going to be, peaches and cream, they'll be all buddy buddy again? Or do you think that relationship will never be the same? And there'll always be some sort of issue between them that could possibly even be within the team. Because I think at this point, the Warriors may be tired of Draymond's antics. I think they may be because they need the younger players at this point. They need those younger guys, and they don't want to run them off or stifle their ability to be who they are. And I think what they're doing is they're setting up themselves for a Draymond trade, because he took some time off. He's away from the team for a while. Well, how long is a while, and why? You need to get your head right? No, it's probably because they try to figure out what kind of disciplinary actions they're going to do with you. But what do you think about it, T?
I thought the situation was terrible. First, I'm a little ticked off that before the video came out, all the pundits and those that were reporting it, hey, it was a fight broke out at Golden State. Apparently Jordan Poole got into it with Draymond Green, and the punch was thrown, this, that, and the other. It was really, really downplayed, like it wasn't that big of a deal.
Right.
And whoever leaked it, I thank them for leaking it, because to me, it was their way of saying, hey, man, there's an element of humanity that we have to maintain even in highly competitive, high-financed professional sports. This was out of order. And by the reaction of everybody and their mama that saw that footage, we all had the whoa reaction, and that transcended race, color, creed, and gender.
That was an assault, is what it was.
That was an assault. It was an assault. He tried to kill him.
Right.
He was punching him like he was trying to kill him, and he's lucky that old boy didn't have a fractured jaw, a broken eye socket, cheekbone. Kermit Washington got kicked out of the NBA for firing on Rudy Tomjanovich.
Right.
Just like that.
Right.
Just cracked him in the face, and you don't even hear about Kermit Washington no more. His career, he's persona non grata on a similar type of thing.
Right.
This cat did it to his own teammate, man.
Right.
He broke the code. He broke the code of teammate, of brotherhood, of family,
of leadership.
Whatever other adjective you want to put in there, he broke all of it. And to me, what makes it particularly out of order is it didn't happen in a vacuum. Draymond Green has been coming off as a dirty player, a jerk, excuse my French, a a-hole. It's one thing for you to be we done saw tough guys throughout the league, from Anthony Mason to Charles Oakley to Rick Mahorn to Bill Lambert. Tough guy ain't no new role in the enforcer. That ain't nothing new.
Right.
Ain't nobody been as raggedy as Draymond Green has been to a teammate, bruh.
Right.
Come on, man. So that's and all the other people. Well, man, we had locker room stuff too, man. Ain't none of y'all had nothing like this. And even when Jordan was going against Steve, what about Jordan when he hit Kerr? That story, the rest of that story is Steve Kerr had been fouling him excessively, and Phil Jackson then wasn't calling no fouls in practice. And Jordan told dude, hey, quit fouling me like that. And he didn't. And he got fired on. That ain't what looked like was going on here.
Right.
Draymond Green was being a jerk, just like he kicked LeBron James in the nuts in the finals, just like he stepped on Jaylen Brown in last year's finals, just like he yanked that dude from the Memphis Grizzlies to the ground by his jersey in the playoffs in the second round this year. And just like he pushed
Harden in his chest.
He came through with all. So this ain't no just he just got a little overheated. No, man, this is a pattern of abysmal behavior that you've been letting a guy get away with. Similar to a little kid when they're first coming out, and walking around and stuff like that. The first time you tell that little joker no, and they do it again, whoop his little behind. If you got enough sense to exercise your own will in disobeying me, you got enough understanding and consciousness to take this spanking you finna get. So when you get older, little 2, 3, 4-year-old, when you get to be 15, 16, 17, you understand where boundaries are. Draymond Green ain't had no boundaries. So now he feel if I can do this, I can do that, I can do that, have minimal punishment, I can go haul off and try to kill a teammate and still y'all not do nothing. It's what, hey man, it was totally out of order. The stuff about, well, Jordan Poole, his attitude didn't change since he about to get his money. Hey man, these nuts on that, excuse me. We grown men in here. I've earned the right. I'm playing ball. Get out my wallet. Joker, you want your bread? Play better. I earned this. And if I'm walking around with an attitude, everybody in here got an attitude. You the last person to say one person walking around with an attitude, Joker. You the biggest attitude jerk we got on the team and in the league. Ain't that the pot calling the kettle black? Shut your mouth and deal with it. We grown men here. This ain't the high school playground hook. We grown. I can be however I want to be so long as I don't put my hands on you. Shut up talking to me, hater. And
go ahead.
Go ahead.
And here's the thing to that. Steve Kerr and
Steph Curry
both said that Draymond
wasn't the case.
That Jordan Poole that he didn't have an attitude. He was normal as usual. And
so that means that allegation was all cap, as was I'm dealing with some off the court issues. Man, you've been in the league 10 years, 4-time champion, maybe to this moment, maybe a first ballot Hall of Famer based on the team success that you guys have had. Now you got an issue off the court. That ain't nothing new. You've been playing pro ball, dealing with stuff, ups and downs, baby mama drama, whatever else is going on, and we ain't heard nothing about you dealing with mental challenges. You got your podcast all on TNT guest hosting. We ain't heard nothing about no sidebar issues you got, so stop lying. That's cap there. You out of order. You were a jerk. You took it too far, and it happened to be caught on film. Right. And with it being caught on film now in the court of public opinion, you look like a fool and a jerk and an out of control joker that needs something done to him.
Right.
So he ought to be punished, man. That was way out of order based on what we saw happen, the violent nature of that, the strength of it. And had Jordan Poole not failed, he was going to come up back for more. Right. He was trying to kill him, man.
Right.
He was trying to kill him. He lunged into him, and before my man could even hit the ground, he was on him even closer. And he was the one that instigated it, and all Jordan Poole was doing was, hey, man, being grown. You ain't just going to straight punk me because I ain't no little punk. You up in my man, get up off me. And left it at that. Nobody else in the gym was looking around. People talking, well, Jordan Poole, man, he's supposed to, kept his guard up. You know what I'm saying? In boxing, this ain't boxing. This basketball, and that's my teammate, man. Don't make no excuse. Ain't no excuse for what that dude did.
You know
what I'm saying? And I wouldn't expect my brother to try and kill me.
That was my thing. I'm not gonna put guards up against my brother. Me and my brother can argue all day. Man. That's what brothers do. We argue, we talk crazy to one another. But
and
we're
we
never
have
gonna
an imaginary line that we don't cross no matter how heated the argument gets.
Right. At the most, you may put him in a headlock, your little brother in a headlock, say, dude, don't forget who I am. But you ain't trying to hurt him. You just trying to set him straight. But this was intentional. I'm trying to do damage to
with
you.
Malicious intent. He was trying to kill him, man, literally.
Yeah. My prices. Well, listen, another great show. I love the heated debates. Tune in next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Right here at the #1 faith-based sports talk show in the entire world, Into His Courts. Until next week, have an amazing week. Peace.